Welcome, 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 you guys. This is the Syndra. I've decided to start a fresh campaign in HOI4 Kaiserreich. I consider the Mongolian campaign to be kind of successful. I mean, I did everything I wanted to do there, and basically, I've just been dying to try out a fresh campaign in HOI4. I just love the early stages of a campaign where you start with like a completely broken country and you have to fix it and then get it going again. I really, really like that. And the Mongolia campaign was, it was buggy. I think there were some things that were not quite clear, but we got through them. And if you want to see that, you can watch that yourselves. But anyway, I've decided to do a fresh campaign as America this time around. So we're going to go as an AUS campaign. We're going to go with Huey Long and the America First dudes, I believe they're called. It's going to be, I think they're mostly just fascists, basically. I mean, there is no fascism or communism in Kaiserreich because they were never formed. So they're just called something else, like national populists. Or actually, I think Huey Long is a paternal autocrat. So let's just go ahead and dive right into this. As I recall, America is quite broken. Very, very, very broken in the start of this game here. Thank you, Kaiserreich team. And just give me the major events. And what? Oh, right. That is just an extra thing. Asking you to opt out of any betas before doing this mod. Okay, so let's do our normal thing here of checking out our country. Whoa. We have 318 points here in political power, negative. This is going to take a while to chew through here. We are not very popular. Our stability is below 45, which means we have low stability. No war support. We got a lot of dudes here. What do we have? Volunteer only, free trade, and civilian economy. Alright. What do we have here as well? Frank Murphy? That's not that bad. Military factory, construction speed -6. But just default construction speed is up. Henry L. Stimson, just political power. This guy, stability -7. We have to get rid of this guy. Charles Curtis, fuck this guy. So we can't pick any focuses right now because we have to wait until certain events fire before we can even start doing our focuses. But we start with 4 research slots. So we have Marines unlocked. That's appropriate. We have motorized and 1936. We have the M1 Garand. I believe the soldiers called this the thumb clipper. Because in order to reload this rifle, you have to like insert the clip from the top and push it down with your thumb, and like the casing would always like clip your thumb. Every time you push the magazine in, it would like click close, and it would like, there were GIs that hated this fucking gun, absolutely despised it because it would always clip their thumbs. But we have that one. That's just some trivia for you guys. We have Recon Company and the Engineering Company. That's a fine start. 1934 tanks. That's fine. We have artillery with cartwheels. That's not very encouraging, is it? Holy shit. It's like leftovers from the Civil War or something. No doctrine. We got destroyers and carriers. Yeah, basically 1936 carriers and destroyers. I think we're gonna go carriers in this campaign. We're gonna have the industry to do that, but the issue is we have to fight the Civil War first. So I'm not gonna be worried about Navy for a while. We have naval bombers, we have strategic bombers, tactical bombers. We have everything unlocked except the heavy fighters. I think I'll just go with these 2 for the start. Maybe nothing here, nothing here. Nothing here. Okay, so let's just do our default research. And I think I'm gonna go for doctrine right off the bat because we're gonna have a civil war, and any advantages I can get there are gonna be appreciated. So let's see our military branch over here. So we have Bradley's mobile plan, which is mobile warfare, Eisenhower's grand strategy, and then we have Marshall's superior firepower. So we don't have mass assault, which is fine. That's boring. That's very boring. Ooh. Planning speed 15%, supply consumption. That's nice. Max planning plus 15%. That's actually good as well. Production cost minus 10 for infantry equipment. Wow, okay, so there's 3 of these that are just pure research bonuses. I think I'm gonna go down the Grand Battle Plan Doctrine just because these 2 bonuses are really, really good. More planning and faster planning. Supply consumption is just a bonus. So we're gonna go down Grand Battle Plan Doctrine. Yes. So we have an army of nobody, basically. Just go ahead and chill in Washington. I think that's fine. So, just give me this guy. And give me... harsh leader cautious. Oh no, I don't want cautious. This guy's also cautious. Do we just go with Douglas? Technically this guy's better. He's got that 1 extra supply consumption over Field Marshal Douglas. Organizer, offensive doctrine. I'll go with this guy. That's fine. So the AUS starts down here. This is like the Bible Belt, I think it's called. Oh, I did not want to do that. So I think I'll just start with some military factories in Louisiana. We have 1. We have 1 factory working this. That's pretty bad. Now let's take a look at our production. I hate all of this. Let's get rid of this. This. What do I have here? Just guys in our militias. Support artillery for our infantry. Just cav for cav. And then we have our garrison divisions. Okay. I think I'll just go full out guns. Just give me guns. Cancel this. Now we can keep 1. I'll keep 1 of you for artillery, just for, you know, whatever. And since we're not going to be worried about our navy, I'll just pull all of this into convoys. Why not? They're not going to get wasted, I think. So, navy. Let's go to all of these places and just group you guys up. We're not going to be worried about our navy. No. There should be some in the Panama, yeah. Oh yeah, we have to pull this guy out. So once this civil war starts, Canada is going to steal the canal from us, those assholes. So we're going to try to get that back at some point. So we got Hawaii, Northeast, Central America, West Coast, and Northwest. Okay. We have 18 battleships. Holy shit. But once the war starts, we're not going to have that. Let's see. Airplanes that are not on the carriers. Just go down to Atlanta. No, Atlanta is over here, right? Yes, it is. Okay. But that's fine. Go down there. Let's unpause. Go to speed 5. We should get our introduction to America. There we go. America in 1936. The United States in 1936 stands in crisis. The United States was able to escape in the First World Creek, which allowed its prosperity to continue well into the 1920s. However, the victory by the German Empire and the French and later British revolutions would lead to the Wall Street crash of 1925. This sent the United States into the Great Depression and allowed the Berlin stock market to take its place in the world. The election of Herbert Hoover in 1928 showed promise of fixing America, but Hoover was unable to fix the problems of the Depression. This has fueled the rise of radical parties in America, primarily the CSA and the far left and the American First Party. No, the CSA on the far left and the American First Party on the right. Okay. The fact that Hoover won re-election by the House of Representatives in 1932, and the fact that the Great Depression isn't over means that the problems do not look to be going away soon. Many throughout the country fear that disaster will happen should one of the extreme parties come into power or if nothing is done to solve the depression. God save America. Alright. Increase in stability. I guess we were very low. That's fine. So the question is, do I build troops? If I build troops as the United States of America, am I gonna get those troops when I start playing as the AUS? I don't think that's what's gonna happen. So the elections, I want to go for Huey Long over here. Farmer Relief Act. Okay. Consumer goods factories minus 20. Replace the Great Depression with the worst is over. That seems awesome. Long's tariffs. Tariffs on imports will be abandoned if MacArthur has seized power. One of Long's first reforms was to implement a tariff on imported goods, especially grain, to support the struggling American farmers. So he's basically a communist, which is weird. I thought that was Reed. Coast-to-coast reforms. So we're doing some things that are going to cost political power, but I'm guessing there's going to be some benefits from this. I hope. Then we have MacArthur path over here, which I don't want. We have review the American military. We have base strike doctrine. And then we have fleet in being. I'm going to go with the carriers, though. We have the fair deal. That is if Charles Curtis has managed to prevent the Civil War. We don't want that. We want the Civil War. So we're going to go over this. I've never seen him prevent the Civil War. Ever. It's always happened. Our ideology has grown. We don't need this. We don't want our ideology to grow. I think the current government, yeah, they're market liberals. We want the paternal autocrats to go into power here. Come into power, I suppose. And our political power is growing quite a bit here. Yeah, because we're not doing any focuses. Profits from the legation cities. Following the 1926 German intervention in China and the Treaty of Nanjing, signed in November of that year, foreign trade was left to the richest cities of the coast under the joint control of world powers owning interest in China. The independence of this consortium, is that the plural of consortiums? No, it should be consortiums, right? Of cities, was guaranteed by 8 powers: Australasia, Austria, Canada, Germany, Japan, the French Republic, Russia, and the USA. Foreign investments and the legation cities themselves flourish not only through foreign trade, but also thanks to smuggling into the AOG. No, that's Ostasian. That's the German Indonesia thing. And Qing imperial territories. Over a decade later, our investment in the legation cities is still paying us dividends. So the Ostasian is this thing here. Deutsch Ostasian. I thought he was talking about the AOG. But okay. But the legation cities are these blue things over here. It's basically like 5 cities in China. They're very, very weak. And I'm not really interested in playing as them ever. It sounds like a really weird thing to play as like a merchant republic in HOI4. I mean, I don't like merchant republics when I play EU4. So playing as a merchant republic in HOI4 is not really enticing at all. There we go, Black Monday is here. There is also the event that fires that allows Venice to form. But I'm not sure that actually counts as a merchant republic, even though Venice kind of was a merchant republic. Black Monday hits America. Despite the political turmoil going on throughout the country, it looked like the economy of the United States might be finally might be finally be recovering. It's okay. After the Wall Street crash in 1925. However, today devastating Berlin crash has finally the devastating. There's so many typos here. There's like words missing. It's really weird reading some of these. Okay. However, today devastating Berlin crash has finally hit America and sent our economy into a downward spiral. Yet again, Reed and Long have come out railing against the corrupt bankers who let the crash happen. Curtis and Gardner have both pledged to fix the economy should they win the election. Should the... there's so many typos. Why are there so many typos in this? World premiere of Modern Times. The premiere of Charlie Chaplin's new movie, Modern Times, is attended in New York by personalities such as Jack Reed, Marseille Pivert, and Philip Snowden, who has come to the USA for the occasion. Philip Snowden is the British guy, right? The comedy film, featuring Chaplin's famous Little Tramp character, is seen as an anti-capitalist and anti-Fordist manifesto in favor of the CSA. After a few days, it is censored by the federal government. Really? Judged as too provocative so shortly before the election. So Charlie Chaplin just got edited by the federal government. He got censored. Holy shit, because he was so offensive. Charlie Chaplin did silent movies. How can you be that offensive in a silent movie? That's weird. That's really, really weird. Vice President Curtis recovers. Many in America feared the worst when Vice President Charles Curtis, a presumptive Republican nominee to succeed President Hoover, suffered a heart attack earlier this morning. The White House has finally announced that the Vice President is slowly recovering. Curtis would be the first president of Native American ancestry, but his poor health seems to be a dark omen for the end of the Hoover administration. Let's hope he will have a good running mate. No, we don't want him in charge either. So he's an Indian, or at least of Indian ancestry. Native American, sorry. So we have Native American. We have a Democratic dude here who's probably gonna expand the FBI, really? Ooh, Espionage and Sedition Act. Wow, okay. So this is basically Nixon, right? I suppose. And then we have the possibility of going with General MacArthur. So there are 5 possible leaders of America here that can be created. Let's go to speed 5 and try to get through some of the early game kind of quickly here. Let's go ahead and group you guys up. So we have 50 fighters and 125 tactical bombers. Okay, so let's just set you guys up for now. There we go. Jabal Shammar declares war on Najd. Okay. That apparently happens all the time now. Father Charles Coughlin's CBS radio broadcast. 3 years ago today, Father Charles Coughlin started doing weekly a radio broadcast in America, and more than 50 million people turn on their radios and listen. He is a raving anti-Semite, claiming that the syndicalist revolution in France was fomented by the Jews, and that the Berlin stock market crash is an intentional conspiracy of Jewish bankers, and somehow people still tune in. His hate speech will not be tolerated by the church, and the Pope is expected to make a decision whether to ask the United States government to shut down his broadcasts so his hateful message cannot reach the public. Papal State gains Coughlin's broadcast stopped. So they like us, but base stability goes down. Yeah, base stability, I don't want that to go down by... I like this guy. I think this is going to be somebody who's going to work for me later on as, like, an extremist. Let's just let him rave. That's fine. I don't want my stability to plummet. Restoration of democracy in Australasia. Really? So they went democratic, did they? Yeah, social conservatives. The 100th anniversary of the Battle of the Alamo. Today marks the 100th anniversary of the Battle of the Alamo, where over 200 brave Texans fought and died for freedom of the newly created Republic of Texas. Remember the Alamo. Well, you gotta remember that Mexico kind of owned a lot of this before, and the Americans kind of kicked them out. So, you know, it might belong to America now, but Americans killed quite a lot of Mexicans to take that territory for themselves. But wait, that might have not been Texas. That might have been like up here in Arizona. I might not know this history that well, but I know for a fact that the Americans killed quite a lot of Mexicans before this. But then again, America has killed so many people over the years. It's hard to keep track, isn't it? This is actually quite good. The St. Patrick's Day flood. On March 16th, so 4 days ago, 1936, warmer than usual temperature led to the melting of large amounts of snow and ice on the upper Allegheny and Monongahela rivers. Those are weird names. The rivers and their tributaries had already been over their banks and were now threatening the city of Pittsburgh. On March 17th, 1936, the waters reached the flood stage of 25 feet. Overnight, heavy rain caused the waters to rise even higher, and on March 18th, the water peaked at about 46 feet, 21 feet above the flood stage. So where is Pittsburgh? Isn't that over here somewhere? Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's CSA territory. Fuck them. Fuck them. It's the CSA territory. I just want them to die. It's fine. So I'm guessing the river over here is flooding, threatening Pittsburgh. The first international congress. That's an interesting thing. Poor Pittsburgh. Aww. So, seeing as the river is flowing down here, which I hope is accurate, I'm guessing, like, yeah, it must be just flooding over here. It's interesting that it looks accurate. I don't know if the flow of the river is accurate, but I assume the rivers are actually, like, properly done here. Let's go to speed 5 again. Our first research is done. Okay, so we're gonna go with mechanical computing. And the fact that we have 4 research slots is going to help us quite a lot. And we can probably get some more. No. We don't want this. We don't want this. We want the... No. Paternal autocrats to get stronger. The 36th Stanley Cup. 2 teams have made it to the Stanley Cup finals. The Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The winner of this game will be the 1936 NHL champions and will receive the Stanley Cup. Okay, so I guess the Canadiens are going to win this. Oh, the Detroit Red Wings win the 1936 Stanley Cup. The Detroit Red Wings have swept the Toronto Maple Leafs for the Stanley Cup, giving the Red Wings the Stanley Cup for the first time. The games were held during a time of great unrest, but for a day, the people weren't rioting over political differences, they were rioting over the championships. Okay. So we got 5 political power. Oh, goody. Thank you, Detroit. Thank you, Detroit. Well, they're practically in Canada, it seems. What is this? The Battle of the Overpass. In Detroit, Michigan, the automotive capital of the world, Walter Reuther and Richard Frankenstein, the leaders of the United Auto Workers Association, called a general strike against the Ford Motor Company and proclaimed themselves for unionism, not Fordism, demanding higher pay and less hours for automotive workers. At 2 p.m. today, a photographer from the Detroit Free Press asked to take a photo of the leaders of the UAW standing on the overpass with the Ford sign in the background. While they were posing, a group of 40 men from the Ford's service department approached them from behind and began to beat up on them with their batons. The group then continued their attack on some of the beret-wearing women present to pass out leaflets. This will hurt us more than it hurts the Unionists. The Indian Citizen Act of 1936. In order to gain more sympathy from the North and the West, it has been proposed by the Senate and the House that an Indian Citizenship Act be passed, effectively elevating all indigenous peoples of the United States from second-class citizens to full citizenship. Now, veto the bill. We don't like this. We are being assholes. We are the assholes of America, and we are going to rise up and take control. There's going to be only us in this country. How about that? Basically, as I recall, it's like the AUS is like Texas. No, we don't get Texas. We get Louisiana, and like we get this territory, I think. We don't get Texas. Maklik declared war on Mongolia. Okay. So they declared war on Mongolia. Interesting. In my campaign, I had to do that. I had to declare war on them. Or at least I had the option to. So stability is actually just coming along nicely here, but we haven't run a single national focus yet. So, yay? I don't know. No, we don't need this. Okay, so I'm gonna continue on with my land doctrine here. And then we're gonna go for... No, let's go with dispersed. We're gonna have so many factories that we don't need that extra output. We just want like base, what's it called? Retention and base something. Base something? Yeah, production efficiency base. There we go. The trial of Sacco and Vanzetti. Two immigrants from Italy, Sacco and Vanzetti, have been accused of killing a guard and paymaster of a local bank in Braintree, Massachusetts, a town outside of Boston. The case has quickly became the trial of the century, for Sacco and Vanzetti are anarchists. Unsurprisingly, the CSA has come out strongly in favor of the two men, while the American First has come out against them. Wherever the case goes, it looks like it will anger plenty of people. They are guilty. So, paternal autocrats goes up. Yes, this is what we want. This is we get also here. So it's 5% for us here, but 8% for us here. Nice, okay, give me this. So we are up to 21% of the party that I want here. Beautiful! Let's continue on the path here. We're just stockpiling some convoys here, because there's nothing else to do with these factories. Revolution in Siam. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I could build some ships, but there's no need to. Arthur Horner elected chairman of the TUC. Interesting. Oh, you get a biography of the guy here. Really? They went all in on that guy. Do I get one? Ooh. The Great Heat Wave of 36. A heat wave has struck the continental United States and Canada, the most severe heat wave in the modern history of North America. The Great Heat Wave started in late June and went up to over 100 Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius, as drought conditions worsened due to a continued lack of rain. Now in July, the heat has reached all-time records. In Steele, I think it's Steele, North Dakota, temperatures have reached 121 Fahrenheit, 50 Celsius. Holy shit, that's hot. In Ohio, temperatures have reached 110 or 43 degrees, which was close to tying a record high set in 1934. This comes in a time of major political unrest, With the American First Council, a major force in Midwest politics, and socialist and syndicalist mobs and militias gathering arms in the Great Lakes region, the drought is continuing and over 3,000 reported deaths have been linked to it. Many people are suffering from heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Farmers across the continent saw their worst harvests on record, causing corn and wheat prices to skyrocket. This heat wave does not seem to be giving up anytime soon. This just isn't our year. So this is going to be really, really bad. I mean, we are fixing our political power right now, but our stability just keeps plummeting. And as soon as I can do this, I think I'm going to do that. Liberia asks for aid. The Liberian government, crippled by the effects of Black Monday on top of their overwhelming national debt, has sent an envoy requesting the American government assist with a bailout. We have our own issues to deal with, but the amount they desperately need is small by comparison and will guarantee us a continued ally in Africa. No, you're on your own. The death of Alexander Berkman. Today, the writer, leader of the American anarcho-syndicalist movement, and would-be assassin Alexander Berkman, passed away after losing his battle with a prostate condition. For his funeral, his body will be taken back to his hometown of Vilnius, Lithuania. He was the leader of the syndicalist movement in the Americas, and the movement suffers a major setback with his departure. Okay, so Jack Reed is taking over the syndicalists. Really? Let's see here. Where are the syndicalists? Yeah, so it's Jack Reed. Okay, so base stability drops yet again. Goody, goody, goody. We could keep getting some resources, I suppose. That's never gonna hurt us. But I think we'll go for some support equipment here. So I'm hoping the Civil War is gonna start soon, or maybe it's gonna start a bit later. But anyway, we are out of time, unfortunately. So we have started our new campaign in Americas. Hopefully this one will not get broken by a patch. If it does, I'll just opt out of it and finish the campaign. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next episode. But until then, see ya. And thanks for watching.